welcome to the Book Bunch. Today we are going to be going through all the books I hope to read by the end of the year, as it is currently December and there are a few books that I'd love to tick off my list before the end of 2021. I'd like to end on a high, so I'm hoping these are really good books, but we will find out at the end of the month when I do my review on these ones. So let's get started with the video. The first book I would like to try and read this month is called 172 Hours on the Moon. I don't know heaps about this book. I found out about this from a YouTube video that I was watching. It is basically a book about these, I believe, 3 people who end up, they're going on a trip with NASA to the moon, and it's only meant to be a day trip, I believe. And they end up getting stuck there for longer than a day, and everything kind of goes wrong. I believe it's kind of a bit like The Martian and all of those kind of books, where basically, yeah, you're trapped on the moon or another planet and you're trying to get back and survive. So yeah, this one sounds really interesting to me. I don't know heaps about it, but the one person I did hear that read it said that it was really good, and I love sci-fi and all of that kind of thing, so I'm willing to give it a shot. Hopefully it's going to be a new favourite and that it'll be something that the BookTube community can get behind. Then I am hoping to read The Shadow of the Wind. I pretty much know nothing about this book. All I know is that Mel Reed's channel, they read it as part of their book club and they loved it. I have the English edition. It is originally in Spanish. And as far as I know, I believe the wind might have a personality, or at least that's what I kind of gauged from the reviews. And it's meant to kind of be multi-genre. So yeah, I'm pretty much going into this blind. I don't know much about it. I just know that the people who have read it say that it's phenomenal. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. If you know anything about this, please let me know, because I'm really interested to find out more about it. I know that it's meant to be set in Barcelona, I believe, and it's meant to be kind of following kind of Spanish culture, and I believe possibly Spanish folklore, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's just from what I've gathered from bits and pieces of people's reviews and stuff that I've seen. But this book actually doesn't have a blurb, it just has reviews on the back, and even on the inside I couldn't find an actual blurb, so yeah, I'm really going into this one blind. So this month I also wanted to, and I guess by the end of 2021, I wanted to end the year on a high note by kind of revisiting my childhood and kids books and middle grade books and things like that. Some that I have read and some that I haven't. The first one that I really want to read is Anne of Green Gables. This is a revisit to me. I read this, how old would I have been? I was probably 10, around then, 10, 11, something like that. And my mum bought Anne of Green Gables for me, and we spent Christmas reading Anne of Green Gables at my granddad's farm. So it's got a really special place in my heart. I really want to revisit that this year and recreate that, because I will be spending Christmas with them. So I'm hoping that we can kind of relive those happy memories. I'll probably end up reading it to my mum, because my mum loves it when I read to her. So I might even go as far as to actually read it to her, because I think that would be really special. And I got this really beautiful edition of it to kind of commemorate those happy memories that I have with my mum. I want to read The Grandest Bookshop in the World, which is this beautiful middle grade. It's got this amazing gold foil, which I'm really impressed by, considering I just picked it up from Big W, so it wasn't from anywhere special. Actually, no, I got it from Target. It was in my Target haul. And yeah, it's really beautiful. This is set in Melbourne, Australia, and it's about, it is basically a historical fiction about a bookshop that used to be in Melbourne in 1800s, and it was known as the grandest bookshop in the world. And this has kind of been turned almost into a fairy tale about this bookshop that used to exist. And basically, there's these kids that I think they live in the bookshop or like near the bookshop because their dad owns and runs the bookshop. And basically their dad normally writes them books and stuff like that, but they find out that he struck a deal which basically puts his own life and the bookshop on the line, and so the kids have to go through all of these trials to basically save their dad in this bookshop, and if they fail, then any memories or evidence of their dad in this bookshop will be erased forever. So it sounds really interesting to me. It's not a huge read. The words are relatively spaced out and it's only like 300 pages, so I should be able to read this one in a day, but I'm really looking forward to this one. Here we have Seven Witherell Way. I don't actually know if I'm even pronouncing that right, but it sounds right to me. Again, beautiful gold foil just from Target, which I'm really impressed about. Middle grade books are amazing. Like, their quality is amazing and they look so beautiful and I love them. And I feel like adult books should look like this, and I don't know why they don't. Just because we're older doesn't mean we don't like cute, pretty things. But yeah, I love the cover design on this one. This reminds me of basically if Narnia and Harry Potter collided. So this is, and maybe even like the Faraway Tree, like mixed in there as well. So this is about this girl and she ends up moving in with her okay, so this is about a girl, and it basically follows this girl and her cousin. So the book kind of starts off with her staying at her grandparents' house, and then all of a sudden her cousin Fred crashes a flying bus into the backyard or the front yard or something, and she follows him back to his house, which is Seven Witherell Way, and basically this house is almost like a portal to all these magical worlds. And she basically finds out that her cousin and his family, and I guess the fate of humanity in the end, are in danger. So she basically goes on this mission to protect them. And yeah, it's all about this magical land that she visits. And yeah, it reminds me of The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, because like there's this portal in a house kind of thing, and instead of it being just the wardrobe, it's kind of the whole house. And it's kind of Harry Pottery because there's lots of magic and flying buses and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it just seems like a really fun, hopefully relatively happy adventure that, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to reading. I'm really looking forward this month to just becoming a kid again and reading books that just, I don't know, take me away in a good way, in a good, healthy, happy place, because like most middle grade books, because they're for kids, they end in a happy way, and that's something that I need right now. Summer in Australia for me is always when I get my seasonal depression. So yeah, the hot and the heat and the fact that it's not a white Christmas kind of gets me a bit down, and various other things. So kind of pretending to be a kid again and really enjoying the magic of Christmas and just like all of that is really important for me this year. So yeah, that's why I'm reading kind of these happy books, and I'm hoping that they deliver for me. But then we have The Midnight Library. This book, I'm actually surprised at how thin it is. I was expecting it to be much thicker than it was, because I've seen some people's hard copies and they're quite substantial, but this one's actually quite small. Basically, this book is about a library that you go to once you die. So it's kind of like this in-between place before you die, and you get to, like, I think when you read these books, you kind of transported into that person's life or that story, and you kind of get to live through that life, which sounds really interesting to me. I think it's meant to kind of challenge the whole fact that, like, if you could live a different life or make different choices or be a different person or be in a different situation, would your life have turned out better? Would you have been happier? Is it actually worth dwelling on those kind of things? Because what if the path that you picked is the right one? And all of that kind of thing. So it sounds really interesting to me. I've heard that this is really kind of heartfelt, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, and I've only heard good things, so I'm excited. I also want to try and read one of my many crime books, because in the middle of this year I bought a book box, a mystery book box from the Book Grocer, and so I got sent I think it was 20 or 25 books that were all of the crime genre, because I wanted to kind of start reading those, because I've been really into reading watching a lot of crime fiction, TV shows and things like that, so I thought I would read some books. And so this one is called The Diggers Rest Hotel. This author has written 3 books, all to do with the same guy, but I believe they can be completely standalone. I have bought all 3, but I'm going to start with this one because this one's the first one that he wrote. This is set in Australia. It is kind of historical crime fiction, because I believe it's set in Victoria after either the First or the Second World War. I'm not 100% sure. It's set after some war, but I'm not 100% sure what one it is. And yeah, it's about this police officer who kind of took a break from the force after the war, but now he's kind of gotten back into taking up cases, and like it's about how the war kind of affected crime and society, and even just like police officers and all of that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It has won a few awards here in Australia, so I'm looking forward to it. It's not super long either. It's only a few hundred pages, so it shouldn't take me too long to read. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to see if this writer is really good, because I haven't read many Australian authors yet. So I'm really which is kind of sad because I live in Australia. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this and finding out more about it. But yeah, all I know is it's kind of like a detective-y story, so I'm looking forward to it. To end up this year, because it is the Christmas season, I wanted to read some books that brought me closer to God, because I am a Christian. That is part of what this channel is Christian books and Christian book reviews. So I want to this month really kind of dwell on the fact that it is Christmas. It is the kind of season of kind of thinking of Jesus and going to church and singing carols and all of that kind of thing, and just remembering that like Jesus decided to come down here and save us all. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to spending this time to get a bit closer to God. So one of the books that I'm going to read is John Piper's The Dawning of Indestructible Joy. This is a daily reading for Advent. I believe it goes basically through the 25 days leading up to Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to it. It is just a really little short read. It's just like basically a little almost devotional every day. And I just, yeah, I feel like, again, with like my seasonal depression and everything, I feel like what I really need most is to dwell more on the Lord. And yeah, this is a way that I can do that, is to remind myself of his insane joy and how he saved us basically, and he loved us enough to do so. So I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. And to follow this one up, I also want to read A Hunger for God, which is, it focuses on fasting and prayer. I haven't done a lot of fasting throughout my life, but prayer is a huge deal to me, and my prayer life is a huge deal to me. And I just want to, yeah, kind of learn more about it, learn more how I can further deepen that connection with God through fasting and prayer. And yeah, hopefully kind of reignite my hunger for him in a really meaningful way. And I feel like Christmas is a great time for that. So amongst all of the silly books, I thought I'd throw in a couple of serious ones there that really do mean a lot to me. And yeah, I really want to focus on this month before 2022 sets in, because I want to start off the new year in a good place. So that means ending 21 in a good place as well. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and that you enjoyed this video. If there's any books that you are going to pick up and read yourself from this video, or you've read any of them, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I hope that you guys have a good one, and thanks for watching. Bye!